Relika Cronin is the founder of Recreasian Productions. She's a graduate of UNLV's theater program, and she was born and raised in Las Vegas. Relika, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So I'm really curious about some of the things you've chosen, but the first scene you did was a remake of Mean Girls. Why did you choose that movie?
Because it's a classic and it's so funny. And I feel that it's something that is so well known and it's easily digestible. It's a nice way to present, hey, here's something you know. What if you saw it this way?
But does it cross over that way?
I believe so, yes, because if the U.S. is the melting pot that it claims to be, our media should showcase that. The way anyone looks shouldn't dictate the story being told. It shouldn't be a distraction. And that's what Recreation is all about. We're trying to shatter the notion of being seen as revolutionary when we see Asian actors on screen or on stage or anything like that.
You said growing up you rarely would see an Asian actor in movies or TV. Why does that matter?
It's the sense of feeling included. Because whenever I looked up, I never saw anyone like me. And it almost made me feel like an outcast, like what's wrong with me? And the only time I ever saw anyone that kind of looked like me was in anime or in cartoons. But that doesn't necessarily count because that's a drawing.
Now, the USC study that I talked about earlier analyzed 1,300 top grossing films from 2007 to 2019. And it found that white men were 15 times more likely to lead or co-lead a Hollywood film than an Asian or a Pacific Islander. And when it came to the ratio of white men to API women, the ratio leapt to 84 to 1. So I wonder about you as somebody who auditioned, has it been difficult? Is it difficult for you to find roles or to other actors that you've talked to?
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I've had many instances where people say, you're great, but just you're not what we're looking for. I even had an incident where I was reading for a role and they actually stopped me right in the middle and said, you're great, but you're a little too Asian in the face, which doesn't make any sense to me. What does that even mean? Because I'm Asian, but I digress. But I've noticed that a lot of my actor counterparts would always say it's so hard. I feel that my white counterparts have it a lot easier because it's easier to form to a story. They think because you're Asian, maybe we need to include your culture, your background, all of these things, when really we're just telling a story. I'm a person, I'm a human being. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're trying to show with Recreation as well.
And I'm going to talk about something that came up during the Academy Awards. Licorice Pizza was nominated for Best Picture, but it was criticized, especially by those in the AAPI community, because they said it perpetuated old stereotypes of Asian Americans with these exaggerated accents. In one scene, there is a white man who says he can't tell the difference between two different Asian women. The filmmaker said it was a joke and it was meant to show that the man was an idiot. But when you see films like that come up for these big awards at the Oscars, this is 2022, what do you think about the state of Hollywood for the AAPI community?
They have a long way to go. I mean, of course, I appreciate the steps that they're taking, especially when it came to Crazy Rich Asians, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I will be fully transparent and say I cried in the theaters whenever I saw these movies because the first time I saw an entirely Asian cast who looked like me telling these incredible stories. But then again, you still have those incidences like with Licorice Pizza and also with the movie Cloud Atlas. And Cloud Atlas was about a movie about these human beings being reincarnated and telling all of these stories and how they're all interconnected. But there's a particular part where these white actors were actually put in yellowface because they were in Neo-Seoul Korea, the future of Korea. And it was devastating. It was heartbreaking. I was like, it's 2012. Why are you putting these white actors in Asian face and yellow face? So while that there are a lot of good progress, great progress being done and stuff like that, there's still a long way to go.